Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today, I'm just gonna do a 30-minute handstand session and I want to take you with me so you get some insights into my own practice. Usually I do longer handstand sessions of around 1 hour, but today, when you don't have so much time, 30 minutes are also more than enough. I try to also give you some advices in between, but of course this is more like an advanced handstand practice. So if you want to learn the basics, I also recommend you have a look at my handstand program in my training app, where you can start really from zero and work your way up to solid handstands. Good. So what I do today is have a look. I have these handstand boards. Why do I have that? Sometimes, especially these floors, they are a little bit soft. And when I go on one arm especially, you just feel much more pressure in your wrists because like the energy you give into the floor just goes into the soft floor, and it is also more demanding on my wrists. So I prefer really hard floor, and for that wooden boards that I can bring anywhere are perfect to do so. So I just place this one here. And of course I have my phone with me because it's so important to count your progress in your handstands. So I count the seconds when I'm doing my handstand, when I'm balancing. And if I would put just a watch somewhere, I have to watch it all the time and do a one-arm handstand and have a look at the time. It's impossible. Some people do it also with counting the breath, but I prefer to have it really strict, measured. Not always, but if I can, yes, I do. And usually, to start with my handstands, some quick wrist warm-up. I am very lucky. I don't really need it. I think my wrists are so used to all the pressure from breaking since more than 10 years that I really don't need a wrist warm-up, especially with this nice warm weather. I just place my hands on the floor quickly and see how they feel today, but they are always good. If you want to do some wrist warm-up, turn them out here, 10 reps of these leans, all right? 10 times. Then after 10 reps of this, shake it off a little bit, then make them straight and go for 10 reps here. Also leaning forward, add some pressure. After 10 reps of this, what you can do is make a fist, open, up. Here, 10 reps of this. And then the last one, the wrist flexion raises. They are a great exercise to build up strength in your forearms, and they look like that. I want to lift up on those 4 knuckles here. I don't use my thumb. I have the fingers flat on the floor. And from here, add some weight, and I'll slowly go down, bam, push back up. And you see, I don't want to use my shoulders. I don't want to swing or go one by one or bend my arms. I want to work strictly from my forearms. And you can do that for 10-15 reps. It really starts firing up everything. I sometimes start doing it in my plank to add more and more pressure, more and more weight also, depending on how I feel on this particular day. Shake it off. Good. I start my practice usually with 1 minute handstand hold. So I just do one handstand of 1 minute to warm my whole body up, to feel how is my balance today, because usually already in this 1 minute, I feel right away, is it gonna be a good or a bad day in my handstand? 1 minute work, let's go. That was a 1 minute handstand. So what I did is 20 seconds looking down to the floor. Then 20 seconds I was looking back, so head in, makes it harder to balance. And then the last 20 seconds I played around with the legs a little bit. I watched down to the floor again, and then I made some straddle, some scissors, just to move around. So usually I break this 1 minute handstand down into different parts, 20, 20, 20. Good. And the next thing is important also, to warm up my hips. Especially if I go for the straddle handstands, I am not that flexible. I had to work a lot on my straddle. So this is why before I do my handstands, I always have to go a little bit into this straddle position, because after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you will see it makes a big difference, especially for me, on how far, how wide I can bring my legs in handstand. So this position here is what I like, and I go for bounces. 10 reps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now I stay 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and second position is here, even a bit more intense. I also like to use sliders for this one, so they will just slide out and it gives me much more range, and I could also slide my feet in and out. But today I don't have equipment with me, so I also want to show you that I can do the practice also just with the wooden board. Will of course also work on this floor, but if I have it with me, much better. And I stay here a little bit just to feel my hips, to warm them up, add some pressure in, and I come back. Depending on how much time I have in my handstand practice, I would go now for some rounds of 2-arm handstands. For example, the tucked handstand. Tucked handstand is really nice to really learn how to activate your shoulders, how to get your shoulder stability, scapular stability, and also how to work from your traps to really hold certain positions. I do a hold now for 15 seconds. Again, really helps me just to get nice activation in my back. What is important when doing a tucked handstand, try to feel that you bring your knees towards your chest, but you want to have this rounding in your back. Most people, they do something like this. They think it's a tucked handstand. But the problem is now I don't have this. I want to open up and bring my knees down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hope you saw the difference. There are some really nice exercises you can do with the wall, because you really have to get a feeling for this opening of the shoulders. But this I'm gonna explain you in another video. But I really feel this in my whole back. I'm not the best example for those tucked handstands, since I'm not the most flexible one in my shoulders. Then next one. Now to go slowly into the one-arm handstands, just go for one round of flex, handstand flex. That means straddle position, and I want to bring my legs down, one side back, other side back. What I don't want to do is, I don't want to twist my upper body too much. Shout out to one of my handstand coaches, Harry Williams. He really helped me to level up my handstand game big time. And he always used to tell me, if you would film yourself when doing those flex in handstands, and you would cut the video from here, and you only see the upper body, you would not see that I'm moving my legs. Let me show you. So, straddle. And now I don't want this. I can go deeper, but I start twisting my whole body, I start moving my body. What I want you to do is go for small flex, and I try to not move my upper body. And maybe you also notice in my hands a big difference between right and left side. Right, I can go much deeper, I have less twisting. Left side, more twisting, less deeper. But it's a good example to show also that almost nobody is perfectly equal on both sides. This is also the reason why my handstand, my one-arm handstand on the right arm is much better than on the left arm. And the left arm really depends on if I'm having a good day or a bad day. And we're gonna experience this today as well. I have no idea. My feeling today is, it feels good. So I think my one arm is gonna be better than other days, especially if I have the pressure from the camera. Now go for one more round of straddle warm-up. Here, what you can do here is, if you don't slide, you can also walk your feet in, 1-2 steps, walk your feet out, 1-2 steps. Push feet into the floor, use the strength of your adductors here, and walk 1, 2, relax, go out, push. And I can also play with my hands. I only use now very little assistance from my fingers. Most weight is on my legs. I can also play around with the angle of my hips. Okay, bring them back in. All right, good. So by far the easiest position in one-arm handstands is the straddle handstand. That means legs wide, I go on one arm, because you can start using your legs a lot for balancing. Also, the center of mass lowers down, because in your handstands, one rule of balancing is your center of mass above the base of support. Base of support, when I'm standing on my feet or my feet. Center of mass, my body. That means I can also stand like this. I just have to learn that my hips push forward, but my shoulders have to go back. If my shoulders would follow my hips, then I fall. I would have to take a step. So it's the same in my handstand. And if I can feel how my center of mass starts to balancing over my base of support, over my hand, then I can start balancing. And then it also doesn't matter so much if you have this perfect handstand form, handstand position or not. This is also why in handstand, in one-arm handstands also, there are so many forms you can play around with your legs. Especially the more advanced ones. You can also start playing around with bringing your arm up. But first, the basic to start is your straddle. 15 seconds on the right arm, 15 seconds on the left. Let me try one round and then I explain you something more about the one-arm handstands. The holds were good. I'm actually surprised about my left arm hold because it's not happening every day. And good warm-up rounds. And now let me tell you something again. This is how I practiced with Harry Williams when learning the one-arm handstands. Most people do the main mistake. They want to go on one arm and they just take away the hand because they want to be on one arm. Then it looks something like this. They don't give themselves time to really feel how you use your arm for balancing. And this is also a nice example I want to give to people because I can stand on one foot like this. You see, I use my whole body to balance it out. But I can also balance on one foot like this. Look how my foot is moving the whole time. Now the work comes from my calves, comes from my toes, comes from my foot. And this is actually the same when I do a one-arm handstand. So you want to learn how to use this for balancing and not just use the whole body. How do I practice this? When I'm here on two hands, I shift my weight on one side. And the first goal is only to hold this position with fingertip support on the arm that should go away after a while. And the most weight on my balancing arm. When you can do that, you slowly start adding less and less weight on this other arm until you can eventually take away the hand. But we don't want that. Don't put the hand out. Keep the hand here, fingertip. And now what I want to do is I take away the finger and I balance like this. Keep the hand where it is. Once you feel you lose the balance, you place the hand right away on the floor or the finger. And then it looks something like this. You're balancing here in this position. But when you balance, hand stays here. Why? This again teaches you how to balance from this arm and not use the second hand to all the time balance out like this. This is a technique again from Harry Williams that really taught me how to use this structure and not only like flagging and use my arm. So if I would go up, weight, here, fingers, and now, see, this, back. Same on the other side, of course. To improve and measure your progress when doing this one-arm handstand is, you count the seconds that you are not touching the floor with the hand. So that means, for example, I say, I want to have 5 seconds balance time in my one-arm handstand. Here, I don't count. Now I count. 1, 2, back. To put it away. 3, back. 4, 5, down. Now I had 5 seconds balance time, but I only used this technique. Maybe the next week it's 6 seconds, then 7 seconds, until you can hold it maybe for 10 seconds in one try. Good, I go for my second hold. I don't have much time today. Now let me try the second round. Straddle, and I bring my hand up. This is like much harder to balance if you start bringing your hands up, because like I explained to you before, I cannot use my other arm anymore for balancing out everything, right? Let's see how it is today. Goal is 10 seconds balance in that position. I also have to say, on the right arm I can do it, on the left arm, no chance. On the left arm, I'm practicing it now. So there, I just gonna go. Once I feel good, I bring the arm up and I see how much time I can hold it. Maybe not ideal, but at the moment, I wanna play around with this a little bit. You saw 4 seconds on left at least. Right arm pretty stable today, like I told you. I had a good feeling for today, so the first holds are pretty nice. First try, first hold. Let me go one more time, because I only did 4 seconds on the left. I want to go one more time, maybe accumulate a bit more seconds on the left side. Also a small detail when I go for the handstand is, if I balance on the right arm, I jump up with the right leg. If I balance on the left arm, I jump up with the left leg. I just made it a habit. It doesn't affect my balancing at all, but I just don't want to jump up with the same leg all the time. It's just a little thing in my head. So this is what I do, so I jump with the left now. Okay. Break. And you can probably see really well the difference between left and right side. I have this weird twisting in my left side. Maybe the leg is a little bit bent. It's not perfect, but hey, at the end, I'm still balancing it. And I don't want to break my head too much about, oh, how is the perfect form? I really need to first clean up the form and then I can start balancing. I think it's somehow a little bit a waste of time as well, since I don't plan on competing at the Olympics or work at Cirque du Soleil. Once I feel the balance, I can start cleaning up the form over time, step by step. Okay, now let's skip the straddle one arm up. Now I want to go for this diamond shape in my handstand. I think this is the next easier or the next harder progression when you change from straddle into the next level. The balance is mostly the same. The only difference is you have less range again to do this with the legs, because the legs are closed and you start using this a little bit for balancing. If you work on your two-arm handstands and you have a pretty solid two-arm handstand, you can also just do this on both hands and start transitioning from straddle into diamond shape without shifting the hips. Then it looks like this. Straddle, bam, out. And you see actually only legs are moving a little bit, but the rest of the hips stays mostly the same. And now I try to play around with the same in my one-arm handstand. So I try to level it up there. That means first I find the nice shape in diamond. Once I have it, I try to go straddle to diamond while balancing on one arm. Right arm, let's see how it goes. It depends a lot on how good I have positioned my hips. Once they are stuck above my shoulders in a nice alignment, then it feels pretty easy. But as soon as I'm not in this line, pretty hard. Let's see. That was a good example of I just went too fast I wanted to go really fast into it, and the position was really not good in my hips, and this is why I struggled so much about falling down. Let me go on the left side. Left side, I'm still at the one finger support, and then I'll go one more on the right side. Not happy with this one. In between, let me go for some straddle position again, pancake position. Give my shoulders some rest, and I will go for it for sure. Another 2 tries. I could say I want to be able to do 10 reps balancing. So like open, close is 1 rep. 1, 2, 3, not 10 in a row, but I can say I have to do 10 reps in total, and then I can move on to the next handstand form. Of course, on the right side. On the left side, just do the 10 reps with the finger support. So I could do that. Let's see. I want to have 10 reps. Five reps. Go for 5 on the other side. Five reps. I would maybe count that as 4 on the right arm, but I did some previous rounds already, so let's go for 5. That do 5 more clean ones. I take the rest as I need it. In between, usually I take some steps, walk around, get some fresh air, or also go for some other stretches. Now to really make it a bit harder, I let the finger resistance go and I hold 10 seconds. So you start here. Once you feel you're ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, break. Close them, controlled. My shoulders got the rest. Let's go for another one. Three. I was fighting with all I had to not fall over. I really felt that you're gonna see this one. Let's go for the left side, 3 reps, so I'm equal. Two more to go. So keep in mind, it always helps with any practice you do to put some kind of structure in. Like I said, now in my handstand, I set my goals. Either I have to make 10 holds, successful holds or reps of these scissors. You could also say you work in 10-minute blocks. For example, I work on my straddle, hand up, and I go for 10 minutes, as many holds as I can. Either you go for goals with the reps, or you go for timer, and you work in this time range. This you can also do with bodyweight training, for example, because there as well, you say you want to be more freely, you don't want to have this real structure about 5 reps of this, 10 reps of this, but then still you can grab like 3 exercises and set yourself a timer of 10 minutes, and then you say you play around with those 3 exercises. So it still gives you a little bit of a structure, but you have a wide range to still improvise when doing your practice. Let me go for 2 reps or more. best one to finish this round. Way more than 2, so I definitely reached my goal of 10 reps. Left side, 2 missing. 2 bad ones to finish. Good, perfect. And now again, a short break. One more hold of the straddle position. Feel how I can push in the floor, hold it, and I go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I still want to do one more block. I want to work on my straight handstand form. This is by far the hardest so far for me. What I do now is I just set myself a timer of 5 minutes and I see how I feel. That means first I try to do the holds with arm out. If they start feeling good, maybe I go in for some holds with arm up. And I just see what I can do in those 5 minutes. And the goal is always to go for 10 seconds holds, balancing holds. Right arm, yes. Left arm, not there yet. I'm gonna go for the technique I just explained you with taking the finger away. And this is gonna be the end of my handstand practice today. 5 minutes work. Let's see. I'm put the timer.
This is reside music.
All right, guys, 5 minutes are over. It's a pretty short amount of time to recover in between reps. So as you saw, first round I had a nice hold, but also nice to see that every day is different. Some days go really well. Some days are a bit harder, but I hope this gave you some insights into my handstand practice. Of course, this is like on a bit more advanced level since it's one arm practice. I will do for sure another video about handstands, the handstand topic. Maybe ask a question into the comments or send your ideas of what kind of handstand YouTube video you would like to see. Write it in the comments below and I will definitely work on it to give you the best content you need to improve your handstand game, to get nice ideas, nice informations, and to help you to make your body your best friend. So thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and I see you next time. Peace.